Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's call. I want to thank you all for taking our time for your busy schedule to join us this evening. My name is Derek Hawkins. I'm your host for this evening's call. And before I get started, I just want to cover some ground rules. First and foremost, we are recording this presentation. We're going to ask that you keep your videos off and you keep your audios on mute so as not to interfere with the streaming, but also the recording of this call. And the person that invited you, they care a lot about you because they share some information with you that is going to be truly life changing. If you invited some guests and you don't see them in the chat, or if you don't see the name amongst the participants, do me a favor, send them a quick text message. Say, hey, we're getting started in about another minute. You still have time to get on. You don't want to miss this opportunity to see what is about to happen. Once again, my name is Derek Hawkins. I am your host. And just a little bit about myself. I'm a retired engineer. I've been working for the largest transportation agency in the tri-state area of New York and New Jersey for the last 36 and a half years. I retired about 5 years ago from that task. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I come from a large family. I played basketball in high school, college, and some semi-professional. So I played at a high level. And again, I love sports. I love music. And I'm also a deacon at my church. And I'm also the men's leader for not just my church, but for my jurisdiction. So I'm very involved in the community. I love helping people. I'm a John Maxwell certified speaker as well. So I am your host, and I'm going to be sharing this information with you this evening that is life changing. If you saw the invitation that talked about athletes, we are going to talk about athletes. We're going to talk about everyone, but in particular, we want to stress the fact that athletes go through a lot in their lives. You know, they sacrifice their bodies through early years. Some start as early as teenagers, and some even before that as toddlers. And again, when you play sports at a high level, you put a lot of stress in your body, and you suffer for it later in life through injuries, through pain, through surgeries. But again, it's not just athletes. This happens with everyone. But again, we just want to welcome all the athletes who have joined us this evening on a pro level, semi-professional level, amateur level, as well as everyone else. So again, let's go ahead and get started. And as you're going to see, the theme of this call is going to be technology. It's going to talk about stem cell activity. But my question to you is, if you're a guest in here for the first time, and have you been patched yet? And I know that's a weird question, but you see the young ladies on the screen. They all have a patch on the arm. That patch is about the size of a quarter, but that patch is considered a miracle. When you understand why I'm so excited about this patch and why you should be as well, this patch actually elevates, activates, and regenerates something in the body called stem cells. And again, before I get into the details, I'm going to show you a short, it's about a 90-second video. This video is going to talk about the patch. It's going to talk about how it was invented. It's going to give you a nice overview as to what this patch is, but I'm going to dig deep into the details afterwards. We're going to be on for about 30, 35 minutes of the tops. But by the time I'm finished with this presentation, there's two things I can guarantee you. One is you're going to have enough information as to why you should be patched. And if I do a good job, not only I'm going to answer the question as to why you should be patched. You're going to want to get patched tonight if you can. The sooner the better. So let's get right into the presentation. I'm going to show you this short video. Again, it's about 90 seconds. And after that video, I'm going to come on the other side and tell you why you were invited and why you want to take advantage of the information we're going to share with you this evening. I'll see you in about 90 seconds.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally. This isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills. Your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world? It's taking notice. Still skeptical? Visit thisisaninfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results, income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself and even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The this is it system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age-reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology. This is the team. And this is your moment. This is it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the presentation, and we are done. I'm just kidding. But in that 90 seconds or so, there was so much information packed inside, but I'm going to break it down for you a little bit further. But the bottom line is you heard about a technology. I'm going to show you this technology. This is it. This is it. This is a patch about the size of a quarter, but there's a lot more to it than what the eyes can see and what the eyes can't see. Let's talk about the inventor. His name is David Schmidt. David Schmidt is a genius. At the tender age of 8 years old, his uncle took him to go to visit. Uh, he went to actually go see an inventor. All you know who Thomas Edison is. He went to see the museum of Thomas Edison. At this age of 8, he said, "I want to be an inventor," because his uncle had a lot of patents. And his goal was to have more patents than his uncle. Well, guess what? David Schmidt has over 200 patents. He's a scientist and an inventor. This is not Dave's first rodeo. 20 years ago, he was hired by the U.S. government, and particularly the Navy SEALs, because they wanted to develop a patch. They wanted to develop a technology, I should say. He's the one who suggested a patch that will help them stay alert. They had a new submarine. They wanted to test it out. They wanted them to stay alert, but they didn't want them to be jittery. They didn't want them to have side effects. They didn't want to take drugs or chemicals. So he developed his first energy patch over 21 years ago. As a result of that, he was on a tear. He specializes in age reversing technology, but in 2008, David actually focused his attention on stem cell research because you might have heard of stem cell injections. A lot of challenges with stem cell injections. First and foremost, you're putting a foreign body or entity in your body. There has to be a match. Just like you get a heart transplant, when you get a stem cell injection, the body, they have to match. There's no guarantee it's going to work. It's very expensive. It's costly. In fact, in some cases, it's illegal to get a stem cell injection, so you have to leave the country like some people do. And we've heard of the stories of people that leave the country to go get work done in their bodies, and you hear all these tragedies. But guess what? We're far from that. So let's talk a little bit about David Schmidt. Again, he spent about $4.5 million of his own money in 10 years to develop what this we call X39. The reason it's called X39 because there were 38 other attempts and 38 other prototypes before this. But again, he developed this patch called X39. And what did this patch do? Let's talk a little bit about the patent. There's a technology, again, it is a patent, and you have to understand this. You cannot get it. You cannot get a patent for something if it doesn't do what it says it does. So you can't just make up something and say, "I want to get a patent for something," if it doesn't work. So you have to know that there is a patent. The patent number is there on the screen for you to see. But let me just read briefly what this patent says. It says, according to at least one embodiment of the invention, which may be more in any one human body, that causes a beneficial effect by providing phototherapy to the human body. Now, phototherapy is not new. As a kid, I remember taking a magnifying glass and I would be in the park playing. I would hold it just right to the sun. I would harness the power of the sun, and guess what? I would burn a hole in a leaf. I can kill bugs. I can do all kind of things. I was a little mischievous as a kid, but the bottom line is we know the power of the sun. In addition to that, as a result of elevating your copper peptide, including activation of your stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation. Who wouldn't mind reducing inflammation in the body? How about management of pain? Anybody like pain management? That's why I invited so many athletes, because I know as an athlete myself, the pain that we suffer after sacrificing our bodies for so many years. Improvements in stamina, elevation of the collagen production, and improvement in wound healing. Now, they talked about something called copper peptide. That is the real magic behind this, because back in 1973, there's a scientist, his name is Lauren Picard. Lauren Picard has a book, and he talks about the copper peptide. In 1973, when he discovered, his goal was to discover a cure for cancer. He did not discover a cure for cancer, but in his search for the cure for cancer, he discovered the value of the copper peptide. And what he learned was if you could figure out a way to activate your copper peptides, it will wake up your stem cells. Now, the reason that's important because by the time you turn 30, half your stem cells go dormant. I don't know if you knew this, but my doctor never told me that. By the time you turn 60, over 90% of your stem cells are dormant. They're not doing what they're designed to do. They are the repair cells of our body. So if our repair cells aren't doing what it's supposed to do, that is why we age faster and that's why we heal slow. That is why you see people who are younger that look like they're older. How many people have friends and family members of knowing someone who deceased or passed away or have injuries that we didn't normally see at an early age? You're seeing more and more of that. And again, a lot of that has to do with that fact. So again, it's important that we activate our stem cells. How does this patch work? It is a proprietary form of phototherapy. I just showed you that there's a patent for it. That means we're the only ones that have it. Phototherapy is not new. Goes back to ancient times. They use glass. They use any kind of light to create certain effects. In fact, if you think about the first words in the Bible, it said, "Let there be light." That means we are light beings. Patented nanocrystal technology. Nano simply means very small. The crystals include or I should say, organic salt, sugars, and amino acids in this little patch that looks like a bandage if you look at it closely. Let me get a good look at it. All right. No drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. I love that more than anything because we don't have to worry about the pharmaceutical cartels. Yes, I say cartels. Think about it. There's no incentive for drug cartels. I'm sorry, pharmaceutical cartels to heal people. And if you think about it, how many of you have gone to a doctor? And I have a lot of respect for doctors, but they go to school to learn about treatment, not prevention. So when you tell them what your symptom is, they look at their little book, they look at their studies, they say, okay, you have XYZ. I'm going to give you ABC to combat that. It's usually a drug or chemical. But how many of you have taken a drug or chemical and actually felt worse? Or how about this? You've taken something that was prescribed and it did not work. In fact, it made you more. It was worse. So when you go back to the doctor, what did they usually say? Hmm, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Now we call that a medical practice. And guess who the guinea pigs are? You and I. Now, again, if you ever watch these commercials, and I love these commercials that they have these every week, there's a new commercial about a new pharmaceutical drug that I can't pronounce. It's always bright. The colors are bright and the sun is out. Everybody's dancing and singing and praising this drug. But what the big print giveth, the small print taketh away. I was watching the commercial the other day and it said, oh, the side effects are you could get cancer, heart attack, stroke, even death. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like those odds. But the bottom line is there's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants in this patch. It's harmless. It reflects light to activate the copper peptides. And let me tell you how that works. When you put this patch somewhere in your body, you may have noticed if you've ever seen a demonstration with night vision goggles that you can literally see a person, an animal, somebody look as a lost child miles away because we are light beings. We give off energy, we give off heat. And as we give off light and heat, what this patch does, it acts as a mirror. Because of the way it was designed, it reflects light back inward at a certain frequency. It's no different than how we get vitamin D. We don't get vitamin D from the sun directly. We get vitamin C indirectly from the sun because when the sun hits our body, guess what? It wakes up this vitamin D that is already in us. God has already given us a body to heal itself. So this patch is not healing itself. Our body's healing itself. This is just waking up the copper peptides And as was determined back in 1973 by Lauren Picard, if you can activate your copper peptides, it will wake up your dormant stem cells. And that's what happens. It's non-transdermal, which means it doesn't penetrate, none's penetrating going into the skin. It is non-invasive. That is the power of this patch. So that's how it works. Now, here are some of the benefits of the patch. Improve exercise performance, optimal health and wellness, improvement in strength, improvements in stamina, your healthy energy flow, no drugs or stimulants. Again, you can achieve optimal health in a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being by using this patch. Let's talk about the long-term results of the patch, and these are based on case studies. If you want to see the case studies, just go to thisisinfo.com. This is it info, all one word.com. You will get all information you need about this patch. Now, what happens is 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's incredible because if you ever learned, there's studies been done on the benefits of drinking red wine. Because in red wine, there's an ingredient called resveratrol, which is actually the extract of a grapeseed. They say if you drink a glass of red wine, you can reset two genes. Imagine resetting 4,000 genes. How much red wine would you have to drink to reset 4,000 genes? Your brain becomes balanced. Your collagen increases. Your heart reverses in age. Now, I don't know about you, but who wouldn't mind reversing their heart in age? Because, they have two ways that they measure our age. You have the physical age in terms of how long, how many trips you've had around the sun. You could be 50 years old in age, but you might have the body of somebody in their 70s because you didn't work out, you didn't exercise, you had a lot of stress in your life, you might have smoked and used drug and alcohol, just didn't take care of yourself. So when they measure your vascular age, which is how well your body is running, how well your blood flows, how healthy you are, your vascular age is very different than your physical age. Well, guess what? This reverses your age. It heart reverses in age by using the patch. Let me put it that way. How do you wear the patch? Very simple. You wear it for 12 hours on, so your body can elevate, activate, and regenerate those dormant stem cells. You take off the patch, you throw it away. Ladies, do not give the used patch to your husbands. Throw it away, give them their own patch. Then you remove it and wait for 12 hours because that is when your body rests, repairs, and rejuvenates itself. It's been documented many times that our body heals when it's in a rest state. So if this patch actually also helps you sleep better, guess what? You're going to heal even better. Now I'm going to ask for some testimony. I'm going to share one that's dear to me, but before I do that, I'm going to see if my good partner, Mr. Emerson, is on the line. Emerson is one of our partners out of Greensboro, South Carolina. He's got now his own testimonies. He got so many testimonies from people that he running into. Going to ask Emerson if you are online, if you don't mind coming off camera. Let me see if I can find you in the chat and just share your testimony. I'm asking you to unmute and also, if you don't mind sharing your face. Emerson, can you hear us?
I can, but I can't. There I am. You can hear me, but you can't see me
That's
yet.
okay. We can hear you. That's good enough.
Well, I've had challenges. Me and technology are still doing our thing. Well, good
Yeah.
evening, everyone. I am so glad to be able to be here and share some information. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins, for an opportunity to share. And yeah, my testimonies are wide and varied, and there are many of them. But this is a personal testimony that happened with me. That again, the patch does things that you don't even expect, you don't even look for, you don't even consider because you've lived with it for so long. It's not something on your radar. And again, the brain has the ability to to go down its list of priorities and say what's next. So one of the things that you do, I'm a 20-year Coast Guard veteran. You see all the stuff in the background. I was in the Coast Guard for 20 years. And when you join the Coast Guard, one of the things you do, they teach you how to shine your shoes. It's an amazing process. Spit shining shoes is a technique that I learned at a very early age, 19 years old. And I was pretty proficient at it. But once you get out of the boot camp atmosphere, once you leave that environment, you're looking for something easy to do, something quick to do, because you don't want to spend 30 minutes to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour on one shoe trying to shine it before inspection. So you wear, when you're in boot camp, you wear leather shoes. Leather shoes breathe. They allow air in and out. And so therefore your feet are in pretty good environment. Well, when you get to quote unquote the real Coast Guard out there in the field, again, you're not going to spend that much time. You want to go on liberty, go out with your buddies, you want to do some other stuff. You don't want to sit on your rack shining shoes just because you have an inspection. So you buy something else. You buy core frames, and core frames is nothing more than patent leather shoes. And while they're good for a short period of time, when you spend time in offices, when you spend time around a lot of high officials, you want to make sure that your shoes are shined. Because one of the things that I also learned is ladies look at men's shoes. I didn't know that till very late in life, but at any rate, so you wear these patent leather shoes day in, day out, day in, day out. And I didn't really know what was going on, but all of a sudden I noticed that my toes were turning dark. And no one told me, I didn't go to the doctor and talk to him about it, but no one told me that that's the reason why they was doing. Because again, the air cannot flow in and out of the shoes. So therefore, that creates an environment to grow fungus. And so I was just like, wow. So when I finally got out of the military, and I've been out of the military for many years, 30 plus years, I still had this toe fungus on my toes. So last February, I started wearing the X39. And in wearing the X39, one of the things that I noticed, besides all the other things that it did for my body, is all of a sudden I started seeing my toes actually clear up. Now, I'm not going to show you my toes. You're going to have to take my word for it. But there was a time where I wouldn't go get a pedicure because I was too embarrassed. I would not do it. I got no problem with it now because my toes absolutely have healed from the inside out. I tried all this other topical stuff that they had talked about. The doctor had even given me a pill, medications to work on it. And one other doctor says, that works on your liver. I said, well, forget that pill then. I'm not taking that pill. So again, one of the things that you have to understand about the X39 is your brain has a hierarchy of what it wants to do. And my toes were certainly not at the top of the list. I don't even know if it's at the bottom of the list because I don't know what else it's doing. But the amazing thing about this technology is it doesn't stop looking for things to improve your body. So, Mr. Hawkins, again, I thank you for the opportunity to give my testimony. And as always, you do a wonderful job, and thank you again.
Thank you, Emerson, as well. And again, I'm going to share a special testimony. Some of you might have heard it before, but again, as you know, I share it with my family. It means a lot to me. And the reason that I'm so committed and excited about this opportunity because I'm changing lives, literally. We have a, a mandate, I say, or a mission to eradicate bad health and debt in our communities. And when you have a solution, you might as well share with somebody. And this next testimony is actually one from my mother. My mother's been using the patch for a little over 2 years now. She's 84 years young. She had 9 children. She's had many surgeries, too many to name. But since she's been wearing the patch, she's had so much, so improved so much. In fact, she twice a year, the doctors come to her home to give her annual exam or biannual exam. And after the last exam she had, she gave me a call because the nurse and that examiner was so impressed with her health that she shared something with her that I've never heard somebody a nurse tell somebody. But let me let you hear it from my mom. That is my mom I'm holding her shoulders. That's an award banquet. That actually me as well. My sister. And on the right is my mother. I'm actually getting an award for community service. I'm active in my community. The gentleman giving me the award is named Rafe Alston. Any of you who are basketball fans or athletes, he is a former Houston Rocket. They have one of the longest winning streaks in history. He played with a guy named Yao Ming. Some of you may have heard him. Maybe he's a 7'6" basketball player. And Tracy McGrady, one of the best NBA players of all time. But nonetheless, that is my mom in the middle. She was there to receive the award with me. But let me let you hear her testimony so you can see that this is very personal to me.
Yeah, Derek. I was just letting you know that I had a visit from the visiting nurse, and she took all my vitals and checked me out and everything, and she said everything was fine. And she was so proud of my heart and my blood pressure and everything. She said, "Yeah, you're gonna live to be 100." I told her, "Yeah." She said, "I told her, yeah, I was taking these patches," and I showed her the patches that she gave me, the ones for the Silent Night and the Ice Wave. And she took pictures of it because she was saying she was going to check it out. So I said, okay. So she said, well, they doing you some good. I said, they are, because I said, you see how I am, because she was talking about how good my heart was beating and my pressure was good. So, really feeling good about it, because they seem to be doing pretty good. Okay.
And I don't know about you, but how would you feel if you found a way to help your family members, your mother, your loved ones, live a healthier life, possibly live longer? We've helped people avoid surgery. We've help people get off of medication, again, because of what this patch is doing for others. For those of you who want more information, please go to thisisitinfo.com. Don't do the lazy Google search because as a marketers, if you search for it, and you might wind up somewhere else. But again, if you want the information that comes straight from the inventor himself, go to thisisitinfo.com. The patents are there, the testimonies are there, the clinical studies. There's even an interview with a doctor as to why he not only uses the patches in his practice, he is actually one of our brand partners. And I'll explain what that means a little bit later. So again, go to This Is It Information. Now I want you to shift gears a little bit as I wrap up, and I want you to put on your business hat. If you were looking for a business, what would some of the things you look for? One of the things I was looking for is growth. Well, this company's been around for 20 plus years. They're in over 75 countries. And for the first 18, 19 years, they average about $20 million in revenue. Then they developed the X39. Late 2019, 2020 was released. Look what happened between 2021 and 2022. It went from $20 million to $320 million. And then it went to $430 million in 2023, over $600 million in 2024. We're pushing towards $1 billion this year. The numbers aren't in yet, but we are on our way to be a multi-billion-dollar company, and you are happy to be in a position to hear about it before anyone else. And I call it a Bitcoin moment. I'm going to explain what that means a bit later, but you are in a Bitcoin moment, and you don't have those too often, but I'll explain that a little bit later. Let's look at the growth of the company. The company's been ranked the number one company out of 6,000 companies globally by businessforhome.org. They're a media company. All they do is rank and evaluate companies. We had this rank 2 years in a row. We were the number one ranked company in the world. That's incredible. We also just received another award. Out of thousands of nominations from over 15 different countries, we just received something called the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Award. Just imagine that. The product wins this award again. Is something that, again, any scientist, any inventor would love to have. We are just received this reward as well. So we're not just talking about something that, that's a fly by night that you might want to try, might want to consider. This is something that's life changing. That is why they got the award. Now, what's important in your life? As I can tell you, for me, it's family time, family fun, faith. My faith, security is important to me. Security is important, I'm sure, for most of you. How about travel? We all would love to travel. There's other places. How about better health? How about less debt? In fact, when I talk to my friends, I have buddies and some of my brand partners, some of the partners I work with are pastors, bishops, they're in ministry. And they say, when we ask them, what is the number one and number two thing people ask you to pray for? And it probably applies to you. And these are also the same two things that people wish for at the beginning of the year: health, better health, and more money or more income. Well, guess what? We're going to talk about that as well. So whatever's important for you is available here, particularly your wealth. When I talk about wealth, wealth to me means your health. Because what good is it to have $1 million if you have to take medication and drugs? You can't get up and walk. You're in pain. You can't spend time with your loved ones. Again, so your wealth is your health. So we're going to talk about both. Now, let's talk about this opportunity. First of all, let's talk about a conventional business versus our lightweight business. In a conventional business, usually there's a high startup cost. Let's use an example, a McDonald's, for example. It might cost you $40,000, $50,000 to go to McDonald's University just to get it started. It may take you 3 to 5 years to get that money back, but it's a high startup cost. It's very high risk. It's also long hours. A lot of times, if you buy a franchise or business, the business owns you, and there's a lot of trial and error. That is why a majority of companies fail in the first 5 years. Over 80% don't make it past the 5 years. Versus, let's look at a life-right business, a very low startup cost. You can start it with a credit card if you like. You have a 30-day risk-free trial. You can make your own schedule. We have a 20-year track record, and we are not a Me Too company. That is why we sets us apart. And what I mean by that, we're not selling vitamins, supplements. hair care. Not that those things aren't good for you, but there are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of companies and places where you can get those things, and everybody's claiming to be the best. However, we have a patent. We have another 15 years of exclusivity, and we're the only people that can market this technology. So again, you have a tremendous opportunity if you're looking at a business perspective. How about opportunities happen by creating solutions? Now, what are the problems that we have that we're looking to solve? One is the two things that people pray for the most, and the two things that people also wish for at the beginning of every new year. Now, the common problem that we solve is the market is oversaturated with illegitimate products and services, and that's always gonna be the case, and financial struggles. A lot of people are having challenges, obviously with layoffs and a lot of things that's happening with the government. AI is changing things. Anytime there's a new technology, there's a shift also in people's skills and talents. Poor health and wellness. Again, that's always a problem with people. Again, we are being attacked by air, land, and sea, and the water quality is not that great. The air from fires and other things, and not to mention the pharmaceutical cartels, and what we're putting in our foods is not good for us. What does LifeWave offer? LifeWave offers a patented phototherapy technology. This small patch about the size of a quarter, as I shared with you earlier. A duplicate, they call it a duplicate business model. Duplicate just means that you can learn it and take what we learned. Just like you can take a McDonald's franchise and McDonald's, the fries have to be in a certain place. The shake machine has to be in a certain place. Don't put more than one pickle on a burger or you'll be in trouble. But the bottom line is we have a system to follow that if you follow it, you get the same results. And it offers optimum health and wellness. And who wouldn't want that? Now let's talk about the compensation. And one thing we do is we share this opportunity with people we love and care about. That is why you were invited to this call tonight. You can benefit from the patch, and everyone benefits from the patch, whether you decide to just use it to improve your wealth, which is your health, or you want to add income to your bank account, you can do that as well. All we do is share this opportunity with people. For example, we have a binary. Binary simply means two. You have a left side and a right side. So you allow people to have their own business. And every time you allow someone else to have their business, they're going to be on your left or right. And guess what? Next week, if somebody else decides they want to get in and have a business, they're going to go on the left or right as well. So you're going to benefit not just from the people you introduce and share with, but the people they share with, because it just keeps growing. And with this binary, the way it works is, again, you get started as easy as placing friends and acquaintances in the left and right, and you can earn anywhere from $1,500 up to $25,000 per week in the binary. Now, we have 9 different ways we get paid, but I'm going to cover just a few. 9 different ways we get compensated. I have a question for you. How many ways do you get paid at work if you have a job? It's usually just one, right? We have 9 different ways we get compensated. Now, we have business bonuses. We want people to get off to a great start. So let's say you get started, you decide, hey, I want to take advantage of this. In the first 48 hours, you can share with 2 people, one to the left and one to the right. They get started what we call an advanced pack, and I'll talk about that in a minute. That just means they get a bundled pack that has a certain amount of volume in it, and you're going to earn $25 per week for the next 8 weeks. Now, that's a great opportunity. Now, if you share with 2 people on the left and 2 people on the right, instead of getting $25 per week for the next 8 weeks, you're going to earn $50 per week for the first 8 weeks. So they want you to earn money quickly. And you can keep duplicating that as often as you can. And this is actually the foundation for our success. We just help people get what we call a 1-star manager, which is on the left, or 2-star manager, which is on the right. And again, it's all we're doing is sharing with other people. Without going into a lot of details and complication, we do train you on the compensation plan. We explain it in more detail in our training. But the bottom line is, if you share with people you love and care about, you can earn an income by doing so. And that's all we do. Okay? Now, we also have what's called a matching bonus. This is what I love, because how many of you have had went to a good movie, shared it with a friend or family member, maybe got a nice restaurant, told some people, or how about you went to a hairstylist and you got a nice, your hair was styled very nice, or what do? You share with other people. But what if you got even a bad haircut or a bad hairstylist? You tell more people, wouldn't you? The bottom line is we naturally share good and bad experiences with other people. We just don't normally get compensated for it. Here's an opportunity for you to do so. Because I started sharing this with a few friends who shared it with a few friends, who shared it with a few friends. And guess what? You're going to start earning a matching bonus. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you share this opportunity with me, and I'm your guest tonight, and I go out and I share with other people. Now, you may not know the people I know, and you're not going to know the people they know, but you're going to earn 5%, 7%, 10% all the way up to 20% of what they earn is not coming out of what they earn, but that's called leverage. You're getting paid on the efforts of other people simply because you shared it with a few people that you know. But guess what? They know people you don't know. That is the beauty of it. We get paid through 6 generations of compensation, up to $20,000 per person in that matching bonus. So again, we cover this in detail, but just understand this: you can create a serious amount of income with this opportunity. This simply allows you to duplicate your efforts. That's all it is. You share with people, and you can benefit from the efforts of all of these other people. We're all working together, and that's the benefit of this business. I'm going to see if I have a good friend of mine, Dr. Stroman. If you're on a call, I have some people that I work with. One in particular who is very successful. This gentleman named Dr. Anthony Stroman. Some of you may know him. He is a global leader. He has a extensive background in finance, an extensive background in relationships, and he's a hydration specialist. He's a painologist. We have so many terms for him, but this gentleman is in demand all over the country. Bishops are calling. I'm constantly flying them in and out to speak to their congregation about what he calls the success triangle, which covers your health, your wealth, and your mind. So, Dr. Sherman, would you mind just taking a moment and share with our guests the benefits of LifeWave and why they should take advantage of it and why they should be patched?
Hey, Mr. Hawkins, can you hear me, sir?
Absolutely, I can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent job as usual. I love your mother's testimony and Emerson's testimony. I love it. Very quickly, guys, it's very simple. We have an epidemic globally, and we have a solution globally. All you have to do, like Mr. Hawkins said, if you really care about people, we talk all the time. The question is, what are you saying? I look at this. I just spoke at a church this past weekend, and my message, as you all know, Mr. Hawkins, is about prevention, prevention, prevention. And I'm trying to get the church to wake up to the fact that when you get your stem cells, I call them resurrected, you don't want them to go back to sleep. Okay? And so I can't think of a better thing to help people. Like I talk to these pastors, and like you just said, Mr. Hawkins, top prayer requests. Ever since I've been working with the churches, health and finances, health and finances. Now it's time to unlearn and re-educate them because it's so simple. We have pastors just putting a patch on their members and health is turning around. Okay? Like Mr. Hawkins says, it's not the patch. The patch is just, it's like a battery. It's just activating what's already in your body. It's a simple process. Don't make it complicated. But if you really love and care about people, I would highly recommend that you share the good news with everybody that you know and care about because guess what? Their life depends on what you talk to them about. We don't sell them. Just let them know we have some technology that can revolutionize their house and their household, church, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Hawkins, back to you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Strobin. Again, plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen, you are, as I mentioned earlier, have an opportunity to change lives. Again, in a great way. And what better way to have a business? And for those of you interested in getting the patches or becoming a brand partner to earn income, you can fill out a simple form. The person that invited you can send you the form. On this form, you would fill out, whether you want to get the patches directly, you want to get them at the wholesale or retail price, but also if you want to put yourself in a position to earn income. And when you fill out the form, you have a couple of options. The patch, again, we have what's called a sleeve. A sleeve is basically a 30-day supply of the patches. It comes in an envelope. You can see that. And again, so you have a 30-day supply in a sleeve. And if you get the bundle package, you can get a discount. Instead of paying $149.95 for one sleeve, you can get 3 sleeves for $295, so you get a slight discount. If you want to build a business and you're more serious about building a business, you can get what's called the advanced pack. An advanced pack has sleeves, and again, of the X39, and you get a bigger discount, and you get it for $535. And if you want to really build, you can get what's called the Advanced Plus. The Advanced Plus has 11 sleeves for $975, so you get another bigger discount for the pack. And if you really want to build your business, the most popular one is called the Premium Pack. The Premium Pack has $2,000 worth of sleeves for $1,750, so you get a huge discount. And remember, a sleeve retails for $149.95. So imagine the savings you get. But also, if you're a business builder, you need to have inventory. If you would open up a franchise, like to use McDonald's as an example, when would you order the fries, the shakes, the napkins, the ketchup, and everything? Would you wait until the customers came in and said, "Hey, do you guys have burgers today?" Or would you have them in stock? That's the business mindset. So you want to have them in stock. You want to have everything in store, but also you want the bigger discount. Who doesn't love a discount? Okay. Now here are the benefits. Again, subscription benefits. Again, one sleeve subscription again is $99 per month. But again, you get points as that and allows you to keep your points. Remember, I shared the binary with you and all those people that are coming in after you. Well, guess what? As those individuals are using the patch, they're sharing the patch, they're signing up brand partners. What's happening is volume is accumulating like a bank account. It's being stored. And the only way to keep that store going is you have to have at least a one sleeve subscription in place. That keeps your points growing. You can get paid up to 4 different ways if you have a one sleeve subscription. But if you want to take advantage of all 9 ways you can get compensated, you have to have a two sleeve subscription. That's the most you have to have. That's your biggest concern, not the biggest concern. That's your biggest commitment. But again, you're talking about two sleeves. Let me tell you how these sleeves work. I have a 90-day supply. I have a 30-day supply that I get every month for myself. Get another one for my wife. Get one for my mother. And I have a brother who has challenges, so I have four. I get 4 of these a month like clockwork because this is an investment. It's not a cost. It's saving lives. You heard my mother's testimony. The nurse told her she's going to live to 100 years old. I don't know how you tell somebody that, but the fact that she said it, she must have saw something incredible, and that is because of the health of my mother and the improvement that she's had from wearing a patch. So again, those are the opportunities for those of you who want to take advantage of it. You want to get back to the person who invited you. You want to get your patches. Now they're going to ask you a question. Are you interested in improving your health? Everybody's answer should be yes. And if it's not, you must be in great shape. So you need to at least get the patch. But if you, on the other hand, you say, hey, I'm also interested in generating income, then you want to become a brand partner because not only are you improving your health, you're also going to be increasing your bank account. You have the option to do both. Now, I shared earlier, I said you have a Bitcoin moment. What do I mean by that? But those of you who might be familiar with Bitcoin, it's a cryptocurrency. It's digital money. That's all it is. But at one point in time, uh, Bitcoin was 5 cents, one nickel for one Bitcoin. Now imagine if you had been on a presentation, instead of it was Bitcoin, it was called LifeWave. And in that presentation, they told you, listen, these patches, again, right now, not everybody has them, but again, everybody's going to need them. And if you bought the Bitcoin, they said, listen, you could get 20 Bitcoin for $1. Just 20 Bitcoin for one single dollar. If you had held on to that Bitcoin, last year Bitcoin got to as high as $120,000 for one Bitcoin. Let me say that again. You could have purchased it for 5 cents if you was on a presentation, you heard about Bitcoin, you had the information, but more importantly, you acted upon it. And you held on to that. And last year you said, you know what? Let me cash in my 20 Bitcoins at 120,000 per Bitcoin. Where would you be today? You probably wouldn't be on this call. What if you spent $5 instead of $1 and you bought $5 worth of Bitcoin? How about $10 worth of Bitcoin? But you held on to it because you saw the opportunity, but more importantly, you took advantage of it. Now, say this is your Bitcoin moment. Here's why. Most of you probably did not buy Bitcoin when it was 5 cents per coin. You probably didn't buy it when it was 100. You probably didn't buy it when it was 1,000. You probably didn't buy it when it was $10,000. You probably didn't buy it when it was $50,000. But what if you did? If you had information and would you have acted upon it? Well, you have this information today. Let me tell you why this is important to you. Because in our lifetimes, we'll generally have an opportunity to have a Bitcoin moment once, maybe twice in our lifetime. Many of you might have heard something and you say, oh man, I heard about what's in it, but I didn't take advantage of it. Maybe I heard about Amazon. I heard about Netflix. I heard about Microsoft and Apple. But I just didn't pull the trigger. I wasn't sure. I hesitated. But most of us, we're lucky if we get one, maybe two opportunities that's life changing, like a Bitcoin moment. And as I close my presentation tonight, I have a question for you. I want you to think about this deeply. Is this your first opportunity or is this your last? And if it is, what are you going to do about it? For those of you who want to see our training, go to thisisateam.com and we teach you everything from A to Z, how to build a business, what to say, how to sign up a person. We even have an AI powered app that allows us to build our business. For more information, go to thisisatinfo.com. And for those of you who are so inclined, if you're serious about what you hear and you're excited about what you hear, guess what? There's another presentation tonight at 10 o'clock tonight. And the person who's going to present tonight is a domino. He's a seven-figure income earner. He's been in this type of business for years. And his name is Chris Oliver. So now it's time to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? Are you going to let this Bitcoin moment pass you by, or as I call it, the life wave moment? Don't let it wave you by. This is your for a feature. For those of you who are interested, again, at 10 o'clock tonight, there's another Zoom call. The meeting ID is there on the screen. The passcode, the presentation is given by Mr. Chris E. Oliver. We call him CEO. He's the real CEO. He has a statement. He says, chase big goals every day because your dreams deserve action, not excuses. Excuses don't count in the big leagues. This gentleman is phenomenal. Again, the call's going to be packed. So if you want more information or if you're just ready to go, build your business tonight. You can get 2 or 3 guests. You have time to call a few people. Say, listen, there's something happening at 10 o'clock. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to set aside half an hour to hear Mr. Chris E. Oliver talk about this business, and it could change your life. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking out the time to be on this call today. Thank the person who invited you. Let them know your decision. Let them know, hey, I'm interested in the health benefit, or I'm interested in the financial benefit, or I'm interested in both. But whatever you do, give them an answer. Okay, as we say, tell them yes or tell them no, but tell them right away because we have to go. All right. So thank you for your time and evening. My name is Derek Hawkins. God bless you all. I'm looking forward to all of you on the beaches of the world. Take care. Good night, and God bless you all.
Awesome call. Thank you. Everybody be
Thank
blessed
you.
and highly favored.
Thank you all.
Wonderful, Derek. Just keep it up, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thank you for your participation.
Feel
And for
better.
those
Feel
of you,
better.
there's going to be a replay. Oh, you can hear it in my voice, huh?
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
working on
feel
it.
better.
There will be a replay for those of you, if you so. Just contact the person who invited you. For those of you who might have missed it or guessed who got on late, there will be a replay.